Another day in nature.
Hello and welcome everybody. Today we're going to be using an emergency blanket as the exterior for the tent, so that's going to be really cool. It's a lot warmer than people imagine. You've got a reflective sheet either side, so that obviously retains a lot of heat, lets it generate around, creating quite a nice warmth within like a kind of tunnel effect. So with the guard behind the fire, it's just going to allow that heat to come back in, regenerate, and obviously keep me warm during the night. This one here is 220 by 140 centimeters. I've used a variety before, but personally for me the Nord one here is the best that I've used. It's a bit tougher. I have used some before that tend to rip or things like that, but these ones are pretty sure for your money. So yeah, I would definitely advise to a Nord one, and let's get started with the setup. So just leave that extra little bit there, because that's what I'm going to finish the end of the tying up with. Now it's just a case of bobbing and weaving. Bobbing and weaving. And as you can see, just like here, just going to do a simple double knot. Nothing fancy today. In fact, I'm going to just chuck another one on top. That's pretty stable. There we are. And as we go through the night, that'll obviously just restabilize itself. It'll just keep dropping further down, further down, further down.
Emergency blanket set up. A few stones to tighten the sides up, and just pull it all two in that, and that should be a cozy night in there tonight. You can see I've got a nice bit of room. Those days when you arrive and everything's really wet around you, if you have got something metal, a saucepan, maybe a metal cup, that is a great dry surface to start your fire in. Fire all nice and set. Wood gathered. Now coffee. Tonight's food, consisting of somewhat of a vegetarian alternative. So start here. We got the rice, some Maggie's sauce there, give it a bit of moisture, a little bit of flavor. Come up to the top here, we got some mushrooms, got a main protein sauce there, a couple of garlic cloves, onions, a yellow pepper, a pear. Bear with me on that. I know that probably sounds a little bit odd, but it really goes nice together. That does really nice. And then a courgette at the back, and some grana padano to finish it off. Just a little sprinkle of that, just to top it off. There we are. Excited to be cooking this up. as the water's starting to bubble away. I'll add the rice momentarily. Now I'll begin to fry off these mushrooms with the onions, and slowly add the rest of the ingredients. Just add a bit of oil to this. Veg and mushrooms looking rather vibrant there. So the rice is about a half to 3/4 boiled, so I'm now going to douse it in the soy sauce and yeah, just finish it off that slight bit more over the fire. Smells so good with that sauce. That is smelling heavenly. Bon appetit. I'm not usually the most avid of drinkers, but tonight I did bring a lager. Really nice, just enjoying that next to this beautiful campfire. The food was absolutely amazing. Incredible. Tasted just as it smelled. We are around 7:30 now, so get a nice cup of tea, start to settle down before I put a button on today and start looking forward to a new one. Lovely cup of tea. I'm just boiling this water now because I'll put this flask in my sleeping bag for 5 or 10 minutes before I jump in, just to give it that extra heat that'll take me through the night, because obviously the emergency blanket isn't as thick as a lot of other things you may use, so just making sure I've got them extra preparations to give me a delightful night's sleep. You can see the reflective shelter there. I've opted to go this direction at the moment, simply because I can just stretch that a little bit closer to the fire. But yeah, if it does start raining, I'll quickly swap positions and just ensure that I'm out of the rain and not getting wet as I'm sleeping. Now I'll chuck that in the sleeping bag, and that'll just ensure that we're nice and toasty when we get in there, and then we can maintain that heat through the night. I mean, it's small, but it is quite cozy in here. Nature's Netflix. Morning fire preparations. If you've watched before, you'll know. So I'm going to call that a night. The sleeping bag is extra toasty, ready and waiting for me to jump in. I've placed a couple of dampish logs onto the fire just to keep it peppering through. Bonne nuit. Morning vibes. Gotta love the bird noises in the morning. As I've shown before, when you come out, you get these old coals and you got yourself a chance of getting that same fire going again. Top of the morning. Today's breakfast. A few sausages, some bacon, then the mushrooms and the courgette, and a few onions left from last night. Just gonna fry all of that off. Get a nice coffee to go with it. Breakfast. Got some nice bread there to throw that in between. Coffee over here ready. Lovely. This was home for last night. Let's pop inside. You can see I've got my bag at the back there. Raincoat on the floor, sleeping bag with this as a pillow. My nice jacket. So you can't really peg out an emergency blanket. Last night I opted for some stones across the bottom. I did receive a little tear, nothing major, nothing damaging. And as I say, this is only a one night use. You're not going to get rid of your tarp and start using an emergency blanket on a regular. So it held its own. It would have been interesting to see if there were a little bit more of a challenge regarding the elements, but it got through the night. Always have a little check around your camp just to make sure that you choose a good spot, because imagine if you had chosen this last night. You would have woken up in a puddle. A little snack before hitting the road, a little saucisson. And that wraps up another camp. Thank you for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the next adventure.